But we wanted to play with this band, and I wanted to give you guys a primer so you could go ahead and start to use this thing yourself, because this thing's pretty powerful.
It is. So here the short is that this is our Voodoo Floss band. Is a kind of about a 2-inch wide piece.
Yeah.
It's grippy and sticky, and what we try to do with this is it's a quick way to restore the sliding surfaces of your body. So we can get really, really pedantic and micro-tissuist about talking about the theory of how the body works and slides.
You lost me at micro-tissue.
Right, but here's the idea is that first of all of your tissues need to be like layers of warm silk sliding over steel springs. That's how we can conceptualize them.
And layers of warm silk sliding over steel springs.
But many of you guys are
like,
you're like wet grilled cheese with spikes going through it, and you're like, it doesn't work very well. A couple rules. We say that when we talk about tension, we're going to put 50% tension into the band.
Do you want to round me?
Yeah.
Just so they show these guys?
50% tension into the band, 50% overlap of the band.
Okay.
Right?
So 50% tension, 50% overlap.
So generally we don't wrap the knee and compress the patella, because we don't, unless I have a real swollen knee and I'm not going to move. But here,
unless I trust you.
Right. Here I don't need to be inducing a large compression load to your patella, grinding against your femur and doing movement. So we're going to go above and below.
Okay.
So it's going to tack down a section here, right above knee. I've trapped right on the insertion of the kneecap. And then I'm going to put some big tension on it. So right at the top, again, 50% tension, not max stretch, but a good stretch. And then I'm just going to overlap it again, 50%. And what happens is the first time you do this, you're going to realize it's pretty stiff. And I'm trying to trap down that big beefy quad, 50% overlap, 50% tension. And I'm really trying to, I don't have to go tight all the way around. I'm trying to work on the quads here, so that's what I emphasize. Slightly less tension in the back.
Less tension on the hamstring, so really emphasizing that
that's
top
right.
wrap over.
That's because that's what I'm trying to change here. And so notice, it's very technical. It's about this much, right? If you can do this, it's about that much. We'll do that much section. Okay. And then the magic here is to always leave yourself enough where you can just hook it in.
Hook it in.
Now, this means that you can unwrap when you're ready to go.
I pull the ripcord when I'm ready to go.
That's right. If it feels sketchy. And what you'll see is typically there's a moment where you're like, I'm done.
Yeah.
And that happens usually about 2 minutes. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to have you stand up. And the goal now is to take this limb through as much range of motion as we can. So we have a clock running, about 2 minutes, and then I'm just going to have Nate do things like his basic air squats. So go ahead and perform just some basic air squats for us. Nice and slow, go all the way down, just like we're going to have a campfire.
I can go down.
Right, he's squatting all the way down, and then sit all the way down. Woo. Now watch this, sit like you're, because the idea is to take these tissues to a full range of motion. Go ahead and come up onto your toes. Oh God. You haven't done that one before. Oh. Now sit down.
I haven't done this one before. Oh, that's
now
brutal.
we take it to full end range. Woo. Right? We can come back up. We can just put our hands on our feet and go ahead and just straighten your legs 10 times. Right? Go ahead and do that 10. And
struggle's real, people. Struggle is real.
What you're going to see is that this is an intervention where we're going to clean up a lot of those tendinopathies. A lot of the hamstrings kind of get stuck together sometimes because we're sitting on them so much.
Yeah, I feel that, especially when I go into full flexion. I can almost feel that behind my knee really dig in deep.
That's right. Again, if you feel like this is giving you some grief, wrap a little lighter, have a little bit shorter intervention. But what we want to show you as Nate works through those ranges is that this is a contiguous piece of connective tissue from the hip all the way to the ankle. And so when I'm stiff up here, you can see that my shin is pulling all the way down here. When I pull on my shin, you can see that even as I pull all the way through the shin, the top of my quadriceps, or the bottom of my quadriceps are still being pulled on. And so anytime we improve the efficiency of the sliding surfaces and the efficiency of the fascial muscular system through range, it's going to improve, right? So this can be done. We even will do some light jogging. You can, a little bit quicker, but the slow, diligent movement works. He pops that off. Let's say that's 2 minutes. Thank you.
That was gnarly. That was good.
And what you're going to see is that the tissue now is going to become bright pink because it's been under tight compression, and as he pops that off, blood flow rebounds back in. So when we see people have these tendinopathies or insertional problems, this is a wonderful way of reperfusing those tissues, driving blood flow, driving nutrients back in, as well as sliding, creating massive quick sliding surfaces. And the difference is when Nate stands up, and even flexes his quad or squats down, and you said you're like, hey, my quads are a little bit sore.
Yeah, my quads are, I've been training hard. I was just doing some hill running this morning and a lot of squatting this week, so.
Does that feel different than the other side?
Oh, it feels a lot different.
In what way?
It just feels like it's a little smoother, a little lighter.
You can have a professional person that you see to get unglued once in a while, but what are you doing day to day, session to session? And what we find is that these little inputs, this would go towards your 10 minutes a day of total mobility work.
I love that message. So rather than just, you know, book an appointment with your physio and you can't see them for 2 weeks and then you just kind of sit and wait, there's some things that you can really do yourself that you may still want to see the physio, all depending, but you can make a big difference in your own body.
You have to. This is the old model of the athlete waiting and breaking and then trying to see a professional person resting is an antiquated model that we have flipped on its head. You should be able to clear off 90% of your own problems, and then if you get stumped, you go get help.
I like that. Well, Kelly, thank you so much. Guys, the Voodoo Floss will have a link below this video for you to get your own.